Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give, and today I'm bringing you another message that I hope definitely resonates with you guys, and I feel like this one is just hands down what we need to be thinking about in terms of living a truly fulfilling life and living a life where we know that we are absolutely giving it our all and we're living on purpose and we've got meaning in our life. And I want to talk about how people get really stumped in terms of their, life fulfillment, and they go throughout their journeys chasing the wrong thing, and they, it's never successful for them. And I don't want any of us to go down that path. And if we're on that path, I want us to wake up and get off it so that we can ultimately create, know that we're living a life full of meaning, full of purpose, full of excitement and enthusiasm and feeling like we're progressing and moving on the right path in the right direction. So why I wanted to deliver this message is because so many people, like when you ask somebody what they really want, at the end of the day, what is it that you really want? Most people will answer somewhere along the lines of using the word happiness. And I know you guys have been following me for a while, definitely already know I've said this a million times, but I'll continue to say it because I really feel like we kind of need it drummed into us. But the fact of the matter is that happiness, when we chase happiness, first of all, we're being very self-centered, which is never going to be totally fulfilling. It's all about our happiness. Second of all, happiness is just a fleeting emotion. When we live in the world of duality meaning that we've got two sides, we've got good, we've got bad, we've got happiness, we've got sadness. It means that at the end of the day, we're only going to be successful 50% of the time we're going to experience happiness. The other 50% of the time we're going to have some sadness. We're going to have anger. We're going to have guilt. We're going to have shame. We're going to have all these different emotions. We're going to have all of these different states of being. And I'm not saying that you're out of control of your emotional state. I definitely believe that you can choose your emotional state. But what I also believe is that in order to be a full rounded out individual and human being, you have to have the capacity to go the whole spectrum of human emotion if you want to access true fulfillment. And you're not going to get there if your definition of success or living life is all about chasing happiness. And instead, I want to kind of instill a little bit of a moral responsibility into your life. And your moral responsibility is to create a life of meaning, is to move toward the things that actually matter to you. Move towards meaning rather than trying to chase happiness. And when you do this, because each and every one of us, we're all our individual beings. We all value things differently. We all have different things that matter more to us than other people's things that matter to them, right? And that is part of your unique gift. That is part of your unique contribution to the world. It is literally your moral responsibility to move toward a life of meaning rather than trying to chase your individual happiness, because as a result, you will progress in an inspired, authentic, meaningful way. And you will progress in a different way to the next person and the next person because they've got their own individual values and vision that is meaningful to them. And by doing so, you're of higher contribution to the world because you're of unique contribution to the world. And with unique contribution and your ability to grow, because you'll always grow at your highest capacity when you have more meaning behind what you're doing. The more meaning you have behind the actions you take, the more you'll go for it, the more you'll progress. And at the end of the day, our fulfillment is born from personal progress and our ability to feel like we're really contributing to people around us. So that is why it is absolutely your moral responsibility to move toward a life of meaning rather than trying to chase happiness, which is always fleeting, which is just an emotion, and you've got to take the good with the bad. You know, if you want happiness, you've got to see that you're going to have sadness, you're going to have the whole full spectrum of human emotion, and that's not really the point. You know, the real point is living a life of meaning, of purpose, of personal progress, and being of your highest contribution to the world around you. So that's why my absolute mission in life is ultimately to help people to, move toward a life of meaning, to identify what is meaningful to me as an individual, what inspires me authentically, what lights me up, what creates that juice, that energy, that flow for me as an individual, and how can I start pursuing a life of true meaning. And when we each do that, like I said, that is how we become the kind of people who are living on purpose. We are creating more meaning in our lives. We're becoming an inspiration to the people around us. And ultimately, we're going to get to the end of our lives feeling totally fulfilled and personally fulfilled. And it's not because we chased happiness, okay? That is a selfish game that only ends up feeling like you're only winning maybe 50% of the time if you're lucky, and you don't really feel like you're winning because it's all about you and it's not really progressing you and it's not really having an impact on the people around you. And instead, go for meaning, pursue meaning. So I definitely want to check in with each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me live. I have so much gratitude for each and every one of you guys. Tried to spin up my words a little too quick then. But say hi. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Have you got any questions? Have you got any comments? Have you got any words of wisdom that you would love to share with our amazing community? Then definitely drop a comment below. Would absolutely love to engage with you. And let me check in. So I've got Tim's here, and Alex, and Mohammed, and Aaron, and Jace, and Judy, and Mohammed, good to see you. And Jason's here, awesome. And Dawn, and Jace, miss you, long time no see. I know, where have you been, Jace? Good to see you. And Patrick's here, and Rob's here, awesome. And Alex, hello Vanessa, looking beautiful like always. You always shine, and your cute smile is irresistible. Thank you so much, Alex. They are very, very kind compliments, and I so appreciate you showing up and spending your time here. And Carolina's here, and Jen, yay. And Edeline, thank you so much for beautiful, kind words. And Rob, good evening, darling. Don't stop. We have to leave the ego. It's not about us. Absolutely. And I love what Dr. John Demartini teaches about this. You know, it'd be amazing if we could be completely altruistic, right? So we could be all about everybody else. But that's only, again, living in a world of duality as we are. You know, if we just get stuck in this like about everybody else, we're only seeing half of the equation, because every single one of us, we have an altruistic side where we're all about everybody else, and we also have a narcissistic side. We're like, what's in it for me? You know, and ideally, we're not going on too far either side of those spectrums. We're actually finding balance, and, you know, we are absolutely giving from the heart, and we are being of service and contribution, but we're also looking after ourselves as well and building up our fulfillment based on what we're receiving as well. And, you know, that's what love is. It's that combination of both giving and receiving, because too many of us, like, this is a lot of my coaching clients end up being the beautiful human beings who are so into giving, so wanting to be of service, so wanting to contribute and find their gifts and give it, but they struggle with receiving, and that blocks half their equation. You know, if you want to be successful in your contribution and being of value and service, you have to do the work on your receptivity, being able to receive as well as you give, because ultimately, if you don't learn how to receive equally, then you'll end up blocking your success, which will ultimately stump your growth in terms of your ability to contribute at higher levels. It's a big part of the work that I do in my 8-week empowerment course, which I will be launching a new round of in the new year. Super excited. Stay tuned for that. I've got a couple of you guys who reached out to me, said that you would be interested. I haven't forgotten about you. I will be getting in touch with you guys and definitely holding some places for you guys, because it's going to be a pretty tight-knit group, maximum 10 people, group coaching, 8 weeks intensive, tends to be a little bit longer. That's how I roll. But it's all about helping you identify what is a meaningful life for you. What is an authentic life living for you on your terms with personal progress and absolute contribution, and getting you on that path and getting you into some courageous action taking with that as well. So yes, love it. And I love that, Rob. And Gates here, good morning to you. And Leslie and Jason and Rob, fulfillment and bliss is the goal. Keep going. I love that. You are so amazing. You are, Rob. Thank you so much, my friend. And Jean, if the task seems useless, then why do it anyway? Okay, so yeah, exactly, because you want to find meaning. So what I would say, without having any idea what you're really referring to there, Jean, but let's just take it as I'm kind of interpreting it at the moment. So if there is a task that you feel like is completely useless, yeah, first question is to ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? What is the point? And then is that task something that is in a system that you have to participate in? For instance, let's use the example of, say, in the job that you work, there's a tasks that you do that you feel like you just have no meaning behind, like it feels useless to you, and therefore anything that we find useless, if we don't have meaning behind it, becomes something that we have to like push through. We're not getting pulled to do it, we're having to push to do it, and ultimately we end up procrastinating, we end up not doing it, we end up handballing responsibility, all the stuff that defeats our self-esteem. But at the end of the day, we have to either, if it's a task that we can't simply just get rid of, then what we need to do is we need to identify what our values are and then align our values with that task. How is performing this useless task actually not useless at all? And we want to change that terminology. And actually it's helping me step into my highest values of this in an indirect way. I bet you can find it. Otherwise, if it's something you can get rid of and it's not, if it's useless in your terms and it's bringing you down, then exactly. Then why do it anyway? Get rid of it, find another way. So yes, love it. And Jen, you are so welcome. I'm loving that this is a great post for you. And Yola's here as well. And Jean from South Africa. I love that. And Gregory's here, and Manuel, and Nikki, and Yvonne, and Naeem. Hello, Vanessa. Oh, yep, I'm doing well. Hope you are as well. And Jean, giving and contributing is great, but it's tough keeping consistency. I get tired. Absolutely. So, nothing worth really diving into in our lives is ever going to come super easy. And it is some of the most tiring work that we could possibly do, or I don't want to say maybe not tiring, but effortful work that we can do is to grow ourselves, because it takes being courageous, it takes taking responsibility for our actions, our lives, our happiness, our fulfillment, our direction, our meaning. It takes a lot of work to get clear on that. And most people just want to handball the responsibility to their workplace, to their family, to their children, whatever it is, in order to take care of that for them. But they're taking the hard path. And also contributing, contributing takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of energy and effort, because first of all, you have to believe that you have something of value to contribute, which takes a lot of energy and work to get to that place. And you also have to upskill yourself in the area that you wish to contribute. You have to go about, being a walking, talking role model in whatever area you want to contribute in. You have to walk your talk, right? And also you have to get out there and you have to be hit with criticism, judgment, whatever it is. That takes a lot of energy as well. And you have to come up with and create things and, have a vision for the future and be able to contribute your gifts. So absolutely, it takes a lot of energy to do so, but it's so worth it. And you know what? You brought up the main word there, Jean, which is consistency. Consistency is key. Consistency develops the momentum. When we're sporadic about our ability to grow ourselves or contribute, ultimately, it gets harder to do it. It's like stop, start, instead of just cruising along. That's why I like to take a long-term perspective in everything that I do. I don't just go like this, I'm just going to do this big ginormous thing and I'm going to work toward it and then I'm going to do it and then I don't know where I'm going from here. And that's the only thing that counts. That's how I used to operate when I first started what I do now. And it was very stop, start, and you can't create trust. You can't really feel like you're contributing at high levels because you're stop starting and you're doubting yourself every time you're not in the mode of contribution. That's exactly why, I started doing my Facebook Live videos every single day so that I could be on some small level contributing every day consistently. And as I was traveling and having that time off, and it started with my 10-day silent meditation retreat where I couldn't access technology, but then it threw me off, and then I had a lot of other things going on in my life while I was traveling, and relationship challenges and all sorts of stuff going on that took me away. It kind of got me into retreat mode in order to reset, and ultimately it took me away from that consistent contribution, which I'm just getting back into the swing of things now that I'm back home. And I tell you what, life is so much more fulfilling when you are consistent and you don't fall off the bandwagon and you don't have this stop-start mentality. When you commit to the things of meaning, you will follow through and you will develop higher levels of confidence and courage and self-esteem and all the rest of it, and that massive load of self-belief that you need to contribute at your highest levels. And that is where life really starts being pursued in the realm of meaning. And that's what today's topic is all about. So I love that, Jean. Thank you so much for your contribution today. Dawn, yep, relax, receive, ecstatic dancing. Yes, I remember the 8-week program well. I loved having you a part of it. Beautiful, Dawn. You're such a superstar in it. And yeah, some ecstatic dancing. I'll have to try that out again. It was fun. And Naeem's here, how to change habits. Oh my gosh, there's so many different trains of thoughts around changing habits. I'll tell you this, I always start with exactly what we're talking about. Unless you identify what is actually subjectively meaningful for you as an individual, you're always going to get caught up in thinking, I shouldn't do this, I should do this, and you're going to try and change habits, and it's always going to be too hard. You might get it for 2 days and then you're off and then whatever. So it all starts with you. And until you can identify your highest values, what matters most to you, and cut out the voices and opinions and judgments and criticisms from your external world, and have that desire to change and shift behavior come from within, then it's only going to be fleeting. Whatever tips, strategies, tools I give you, and you can Google right now and get a million of them. But ultimately, it starts with that meaning behind it. Why do you want to do it? What do you want instead? What's going to replace that behavior? So that would be a bigger conversation that I would want to have, and work out exactly what you are identifying as that habit that you want to change. Can I give you an example here? Okay, so here's an example. It's a really easy one. It's where I go always in terms of habits. But say that you have kind of let your health go, and you have decided that you want to stop sitting on the couch, and you want to change that habit for getting yourself out into the fresh air, exercising, or getting to the gym, whatever it is. If you want to change the habit, you've got to create a meaningful, compelling goal. What is the result? What are the benefits that you're going to generate as a result of making that shift? And the way that Dr. John Demartini would talk into this is he would say, nobody does anything that they don't see more benefits than drawbacks in doing. And nobody is going to do anything that they see more drawbacks than benefits in doing. So if you want to change your behavior, it all starts in here. You must see way more benefits than drawbacks in doing that behavior. And those benefits must outweigh the behavior that you're looking to change. So you could go to town on that. That would be a great way of looking at it as well. So look at your values. Is it in alignment with your values? How could looking after your health help you meet your highest values, and also stacking up all the benefits that go to town, get 100 benefits for that new behavior that you want to engage in, and get 100 or more drawbacks for you continuing to engage in the behavior that you no longer want to engage in, right? If you make the shift in your mind, your actions, your body, it'll all follow. So hope that's of help as a general guide for you there, Naeem. And Diaz is here, and I always call you Diaz, but I think it's Namal, so I'm sorry about that. And love having you here. And Dawn, also just listen to a John Demartini webinar all about duality and goal setting, if your values are in line with your goals, etc. But he always talks about there's two sides to everything. Absolutely. That's exactly what duality is. And I absolutely love that you're checking out more of Demartini's webinars and work there, Dawn. So beautiful to hear and great to have you live. I love it. And Svetlan, butchered your name, but love having you here. And Richard's here. And Jean, awesome. Thanks, V. You are so welcome. Grateful that was a value. And Manuel, great to have you here. And Irvin and Deanne, hello to you. And Jean, Naeem, if it's the feeling you want, why not go for the feeling first? Oh, good point there, Jean. Yeah, so absolutely. Whenever we are, this is in alignment with goal setting. So whenever we set a goal, people think that it's this material goal that we're after, but what we're really after is the feeling that we believe the attainment of that goal will give us, right? So when we can identify what that feeling is, if we can project, okay, when I achieve that goal of having that Ferrari, what do I expect it's going to make me feel like? Okay, successful. Maybe it's going to make me feel successful. Maybe it's going to make me feel proud. Whatever it is, we can identify the feeling, and then we can bring that back into our everyday life and be generating those kind of feelings in small or different ways. We don't have to wait all the way out here until we attain this so-called goal that we're after, which is really just the feeling that we want to generate. And so I love that, Jane. Great addition to the conversation. And Naeem, you are so welcome. And Lucy's here. And thank you, Manuel, you're welcome as well. So guys, I really, really hope that today's message has definitely served you. And I really hope that it has gotten instilled with you. The next time somebody asks you, what is it that you really want in life? Watch yourself if you're saying happiness. And remind yourself that you're only ever going to be 50% successful if that is your aim in life. And why live life half-assed, because that's what you'll be doing. And you'll feel defeated half of the time. So instead of that, I want to encourage you to pursue a life of meaning, knowing full well that it is your moral responsibility to pursue that life of meaning. It is how you will progress as an individual at your highest possible capacity. You will contribute your unique gifts at your highest possible capacity. Oh my God, that's a mouthful. And ultimately, you will make a larger impact, and you will create personal fulfillment. So make sure that you got that in your minds. I really hope that this has been of value to you. Hey, Victoria, great to see you. Hope you catch the recording and get a ton of value from today's message. As always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary. And you're not doing as much eating as I am today, because I've just been out for lunch for my dad's birthday, and about to head out now and go catch up with more family and go out for dinner. So we're doing a lot of eating today, but it's lots of fun, and wishing my dad a very, very happy 66th birthday. Wow, it's getting old, but good. He's wise. All right, so sending you guys all of my love, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.